continue with whatever process you have. The truth of the matter...
Brilliant. So let us know. What should be the way forward?
You asked me a question. Let me answer you directly. You can continue with whatever process you have. You can choose to do whatever you want to do with the courts, with CCB, with everything that's going on. Justice Onnoghen has the right to wake up to say, I am resigning. His resignation does not then say that, oh, the cases must stop, this must happen, but it just goes to say, because once he resigns, everything stops. The principal actor has gone. Then we all can then sit down like one big family that we are in Nigeria and find a way to correct our laws. That's what I'm saying. I maintain that the laws are defective, the laws have failed, the system has failed. This is not the only system that has failed. So many of our systems have failed. It is about time for us to look at it. I'm not asking him to resign. I'm asking for his good conscience. He's the man at the center of this drama. Or is his position that is at the center of this drama? Is it good? Is it fair? Chamberlain, that's all I'm saying. I'm not compelling him. I'm not saying let us go to the law. Mark my word.
Okay.
NBA
Let me get your thoughts.
Yeah.
Let me get your thoughts on this as well. If we continue in this line of thought, and it seems to suggest to some that your submissions may be supported by a group of the NBA, whilst another group may not support the things that you say, we might have a divided house. Do you fear that the NBA might be divided? It has happened before in other climes.
Whether NBA, whether National Association of Journalists, there's freedom of association. You cannot force everybody. You cannot take everybody on board. That is why you have had a lot of lawyers come here stating their own position. That is why you have interpretation of the laws. Everybody has a position. So we are all trying to look for the right position. What I'm saying is, granted the Constitution says it should have gone to the Senate through the ANJC on the side of removal. Granted, they say in the Constitution there's nothing that gives, there's no provision to say that he can suspend. Granted, the NBA says, oh, we need to go through the right course to get this sorted out. I am making an appeal because we need to correct this law. So this matter is not going to go away, even if the CJN goes away. We need to correct it for the future. And that is the functionality of the law. And I'm telling you as a lawyer, and I stand to be corrected, we all know as lawyers, it's part of what we study. The silent part of what we study is called equity. Because the law knows that it can break down. You cannot have all provisions in the law. It's not possible. You cannot envisage all things that are going to happen. We never know, maybe in the future.
All right,
yeah, we're not going to be talking anymore because we're all on our phones now. So maybe we will not be talking in the future. You know, what law says if you don't talk, what's going to happen? Functionality of the law.
Mumuni, I know you're there, but I need to ask Ambassador just a couple of questions. I'm just wondering, I mean, as a lawyer, Ambassador Marcus Bello, do you believe in the dictum that a man is innocent until proven guilty by the court of law?
Definitely. I sympathize with Justice Onnoghen. I sympathize with President Buhari. I sympathize with the NBA. I sympathize with everybody. But let us face it, it has broken down. I'm not saying Justice Onnoghen is guilty. I'm not saying he's not guilty. But he himself came out to admit certain things, like he forgot 55 houses and he forgot some account. It's possible. It's possible. You can forget. I'm not even saying that it is unusual to have forgotten that amount of everything. That is not my business. My business is here to say, as a protector of the law, as an ordinary Nigerian citizen, fighting for the ordinary Nigerian citizen, we don't want to be dragged into this. If the law has failed, let us admit that it has failed. Let us go there. Let us begin to discuss whether it has failed. But who can rescue us now? Who can sacrifice, like Queen Amina of Zaria? We are looking for those gentlemen. And the man at the center of the storm that can save this country now is Justice Onnoghen. And I'm calling on him on behalf of, maybe, because all of these people, including the totality of NBA, NJC, the presidency, they don't add up to 5,000 people or 100,000 people. So on behalf of the 199.8 million of us in Nigeria, I'm making an appeal. And the only solution is for us to know that the law has failed and for Justice Onnoghen to come out as a good Nigerian, just like President Jonathan came out to say, the blood of Nigerians is not going to be shed because of me. I concede. Let him, for the sake of this country,
let me ask Mumuni.
Yes.
Mumuni, I mean, still speaking on this matter. For instance, the president appoints all those in the executive arm of government. When the president is to be removed, perhaps following his inability to discharge his functions or as a result of infirmity of the body or mind, his personal physician has got to be amongst those who will determine what transpires. In addition to that, the president also appoints all members of FEC. When certain key decisions are to be made, we know how some of these things will happen. So the point here is that each head of some executive arms, either the executive or the judiciary, have been given this leeway to appoint certain persons, even to take disciplinary measures. Do you subscribe, or do you think that the law, in this case, perhaps has also failed us?
You see, the law that we have, take it or leave it, are not perfect laws. And in any case, you cannot run a society on the basis of perfection. Once human beings exist, they would exist with their inanities and shortcomings. So where we see that the situation that we have on our hands and the situation that we have now is not being effectively satisfied by the law, we have to come to admit that the law is not the adequate arbiter in matters of this nature. But in any case, once those laws are reformed, then we can start making progress. You see, what is happening now is an eye-opener. People have recommended that the NJC should be constituted of people that are retired, should be those that will constitute the NBA should be of the NJC should be people that are not serving. Some people suggested human rights organizations as people that should constitute the NBA. Those are the things people have suggested in the past when constitutional amendments have been suggested. But our legislators don't look into that.
All right. Okay, I think we need to take a break now for just a few seconds. And when we return, we'll anchor this somewhere. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. I want to ask you this one, Mr. Mumuni, a very, very quick one. Would it have made any difference if the Chief Justice were elected?
An elected person. Oh, you see, the provision of
because
the law...
the President is elected, the Senate President is elected, and he's the head of the judiciary. Would it have made any difference?
I even think that the position of the CJN is even more precarious, more serious than the position of probably the Senate President or even the President.
Okay.
Because once you say you are a judge, you have taken the assignment of God on earth. So
it shouldn't be an elective position. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There is this interesting angle. One of the functions of this bureau is listed, but then there is a proviso in 3D. It says the function is to receive complaints and about non-compliance with or breach of this act, and where the bureau considers it necessary to do so, refers such complaints to the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Now, the proviso is provided that where the person concerned makes a written admission of such breach or non-compliance, no reference to the tribunal shall be necessary. What does that mean?
It's as simple as the grammar says. It means you don't go to the tribunal once there is a written admission.
But there is a written admission.
No, it depends on those that are managing the case to know what is next.
Why is no one talking about this?
I don't know why, but if that is so, according to law, let them take it. But like we have said, it's like the law that we are talking about generally has failed us. So let them look for another way of resolving it.
Both of you have kept saying that the law has failed us, the law has failed us, but this is the law we have. And there is no law, just as you said, there is no law in the world that is perfect. Yeah. So in this fray, what do we do? Going forward, what do we do? Yes, you have made an appeal to...
No, what do we do? It's simple. I'm happy about what is happening. Every lawyer is happy about what is happening. If things like these don't happen to throw up the inadequacy of the law, we can't have development. So, when this happens, I don't want anybody to be the winner or the vanquished or we are the best. When this happens, we now have to sit back and rearrange. We have fallen. You are carrying a heavy load and you have fallen. You have to sit down and rearrange. And how does this rearrangement take place? This is what everybody's been saying. Our constitution and our laws are so defective. A lot of it is just as passed down by the Commonwealth, as borrowed from America. When are we going to sit down? If this has happened in the days of yore, our forefathers would sit down and look at the concept of equity to resolve it. So somebody needs to step aside for us to be able to reorganize ourselves. We can't do it without the court. Don't get us wrong. We still have to rely on the court. We still have to rely on the Senate. We still have to rely on the House of Reps. We still need to make new laws. But right now, we're boxed in a corner. Look at the provision that has been thrown up now. That once he admits in writing, he's a goner.
Okay. All right.
Nigerian lawyers, SANs will find a way to circumvent that.
Well, you
again.
talked about the loophole the other time.
Yeah.
I think just 30 seconds. Nigeria in the eye of the world right now. What do you think?
Well, Nigeria in the eye of the world, it depends on who our friends are.
Okay.
In the eye of the world, can they take it? A CJN in England who has admitted to failing would resign.
Okay. All right. I think we should just anchor it there. Thank you very much for being a part of this. Chamberlain and Gimba, I guess this is the point where we have to anchor here, gentlemen. My name is Ayo Makinde. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget, it's about the rule of law, not the rule of force. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
Everyone, have a great day. I'm Gimba Omar. Bye for now.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.